as I sit here, waiting for the button to turn red. And I wonder to myself, is Kib streaming to his own channel? He does that occasionally.
Hey, we haven't had that happen in a long time. We've gotten pretty good at not doing that. It's like, is it on the right channel? Nope, gonna have to delete that. We've got an interesting subject today.
Here we are. Kyle has a picture of a brown woman up on screen.
You're welcome. Arch is like, give me your number. Give me your number. Well.
Brown women are the only people worthy of being labeled as women. It is true. They gotta be the correct shade, though. Gotta be, you know.
It's a fucking Family Guy meme where the guy holds up the color thing next to the feeder. Except Arch does that to the ladies.
Be very careful with these things. There are limitations even on this. But yes, Susan is stepping down. She's letting go of her job as chief hag of YouTube. And many people are asking many questions like, oh my god, are we all about to die? Maybe. Maybe. It's entirely possible, actually.
The New World Order. In this case, the new YouTube order.
Well, actually, there's the interesting thing, you see. Because is this the new YouTube order, Kyle? Or is this the new Google order?
Good point. Probably Google. ABC controls everything.
Yes. Because the thing is, Susan was Google's woman, man, thing.
Yeah.
You can never be too sure these days, frankly. It's difficult to determine. She did leave a little bit of a goodbye note as well, so I'll send you here, where she talks about how it has been lovely to be ruining YouTube for this many years. You know, she's gotten away with it too and been paid millions whilst doing it.
Dear creators, I'm sorry I couldn't get around to banning all of you. I tried my damnedest, but some of you little shits just sort of kept getting away.
I have dedicated the last many years to making sure that the mainstream media becomes YouTube, and I have tried my darndest to throttle the life out of all of you. I'm sad to say I have failed.
I hope that my successor will be more effective in curtailing your growth, and I hope you all starve to death. Kill yourself.
Yep. Hopefully, my successor's plans will be more successful than mine. And judging by this as well, it might be YouTube's next dude, who used to be the chief product officer, Neil Mohan, published a blog post about how he was so excited for Web 3.0, blockchains, and NFTs.
Ah, he's going to be integrating blockchains and NFTs into YouTube. That'll be a disaster. An absolute unmitigated disaster.
If we're really, really lucky, he'll take away our monetization and pay us in YouTube coins instead.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That would be the death of me. What am I going to do with this? I can't buy things at the grocery. I need a can of soup. I don't take YouTube coin.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any money.
What, I've got all this YouTube,
pay me now.
My Google credits. It's like Google credits aren't good. Your Google credits are no good here.
Unironically, that'd be a brilliant move. YouTube just pays you in make-believe money. Oh god, this would be the ultimate end goal of YouTube right here. To just not pay people at all and just give them like a fucking government chip, essentially. Like, this is your weekly allotment of YouTube scripts.
If you have X amount on your quota, your woke quota, you can get an additional 5 YouTube credits. You can redeem them to listen to YouTube music with ad free for 5 minutes. Like, wow, 5 minutes of ad free.
Yeah, but this isn't money. What can I do with it? Don't worry. We say it's worth this much. Yeah, but the world disagrees.
You can redeem your YouTube credits on Google Play Store, and you can buy some apps. Would you like to play Minecraft on your phone? No.
No. Lord comes a spot and has the perfect follow-up there. Need to buy food? Go to the Google grocery store.
With Google credits. I sincerely doubt that is the actual end goal here.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because nobody would accept it, but Jesus Christ, would that be the ultimate end goal of any corporation, wouldn't it? It's like literally tie people to you via currency. Like this is
Yep.
literally the trick that government pulled off.
Yep, this is the old like 1980s dystopian corporations where you work for an evil mega corporation and you get evil mega corporation credits to redeem at a mega corporation store. So you're basically an indentured servant trapped in the cycle, so to speak.
Yep. And you can never leave because they literally own you.
If I remember, there's a place in Qatar that's like that, if I remember correctly, where they take in cheap labor and you're basically trapped once you go there. You can't leave.
Oh, they do that to foreign workers in many of those countries, where they take away their passports and identifications and stuff, and they pay them in like meal tickets, basically, which you can only redeem into money at the end of your trip. And they also put you, of course, in company dormitories and company cafeterias, etc. And then they just deduct the cost of living from your salary.
Yep. So you get nothing, and you're basically a slave.
It's rather brilliant, frankly.
It's rather sadistic.
But yep, if anybody wants to see the face of their brand new overlord, here you are. This is Neil Mohan. He is Indian, like everyone else working in Silicon Valley. I don't know why this is the case, but what was it? Ah, there it is. I found this one too. CEOs of Indian origin. They just run everything somehow. It's weird. But
My God,
there you are.
Are you telling me Hitler had it wrong? It was actually the Indians that control the world.
And tragically, for anyone who thinks like, oh, Indian man, he's gonna be based. Nah, this is the governing class of Silicon Valley right here. And he himself too. He's of course got a little Twitter account, where he just posts corporate stuff. It's just corporate stuff.
Yep, nothing fun, nothing interesting, just soulless corporate schlock.
Yes. And as for his stance on censorship, as people are thinking like, oh, good, now we can like not be censored anymore. No, as Breitbart covered a while ago, he once stated that it was very important that YouTube continue to censor people because it's very good for business, and YouTube has a role to play in the information battleground to form opinions, because people might have the wrong ones.
Breitbart. It is a place.
People
I do like
might
that
have
little
the wrong
ad.
opinion.
Look at him. Hey, Silicon Valley, I made $380 million of my users' private data. Ask me how. He's just smiling. He's happy, at least he's happy, right? Where's the bike cuck meme? If he's more happy with your money than you are, then clearly the world's a better place.
He also sits on a bunch of boards, as all of these people do. Basically, once you reach a certain managerial strata like this, you're not really running anything anymore. You are literally paid to sit in on boards, to provide your expertise to calm down investors. It's an incredibly incestuous organization, and they are paid ridiculous sums of money for this too. They don't do anything necessarily, but they're there, on the list.
Mm-hmm. Sound alright.
So I doubt things will get much better.
I'm honestly expecting the status quo.
I think we'd be lucky with the status quo, honestly. See, to round this back to Susan for a second here, right? So Susan has been fucking devastating to YouTube. She genuinely has.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one who introduced the idea of authoritative sources, for example. where independent YouTubers would be overrun by the mainstream media, the Fox News, CNNs, etc., and they would be given pride of place prominence over them because they had the context, quote unquote. And this was after the shooting in France on the satirist cartoon place, I think it was, and she decided, oh, everybody needs to hear about this. And so she started artificially pushing mainstream sources over everybody else. And then she got away with it. And then she decided, well, might as well continue. So she did.
Yep. She's been manipulating and using the tools they have to basically push content on people and push propaganda. Because it is effectively what she's been doing.
Of course, once they realized that, the door was wide open, and they continued going further and further and further. Like this one here is speaking directly about the WHO, the WHO, the World Health Organization, who was deemed to be the singular authority on the Wu flu for quite a while, and anything you said that was contradicting them would get you just banned, yeeted. Turned out that the WHO knew absolutely nothing about what they were fucking talking, nor did anybody else at the time, but, oh well, details.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it doesn't matter. Like, they're not held accountable. So even the fact that she did that, she deleted all those channels, and lots of people lost their channels and careers, and not to mention doctors outside of this even, because it goes way bigger than this, way bigger than YouTube. These people aren't going to be held accountable. Like, lives were ruined. That's why, sad to say, but the reality is when shit like this hits the fan, the best thing is to just hunker down and wait for the right time to strike. Don't have a choice.
She has set the tone in terms of censorship and control on the platform. But there is one light in the darkness here. Namely, that YouTube's revenue. Now, this is a bit of a rumor level thing here, so, take it with a pinch of salt, etc. But YouTube's revenue has not been doing particularly well, apparently. And, well, the way she worded it in her resignation letter, like, oh, I'm going to move on, concentrate on my family and my personal projects. That's the kind of resignation letter you write when your ass has gotten fired from a cannon. So, I doubt this was voluntary.
No, probably not. But they allow you to say grace when they do that.
Yeah, exactly. So why would YouTube revenue be down? Oh, okay, well, we've yeeted a lot of creators. They monetize specifically the mainstream media over independent content creators. And the mainstream media, of course, here's the thing. The mainstream media doesn't need YouTube. They have their own fucking TV channels, their own websites, which they link to every time they're on YouTube. They are actively taking traffic away from YouTube.
Yep, because these mainstream media platforms actually view YouTube as the enemy. And YouTube doesn't realize that. Because these guys don't actually want to play fair. They don't want to come over and make YouTube the new place. They actually are looking for ways to subvert or pull audience members away to their main sources of revenue. Which, for these mainstream media corporations, what's their main source of revenue? Well, it's TV. It's never going to be YouTube. So the reality is they need to, YouTube needs to understand that it's fine, let them be here, just like anybody should be allowed to be on YouTube. But they should be prioritizing creators over corporatists. Because the corporatists don't bring new people or new blood. They take new blood away.
Absolutely. And she's also been actively making a lot of enemies as well. So it was under her reign that they decided to yeet PewDiePie from the YouTube Shorts Premium blah 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 system, which was just stupid, over saying das N-word, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That cost them a lot of money, no doubt about it. It was under her guidance, though, that at the same time, scams were flourishing. The whole fucking Counter-Strike Go bullshit with the fake-ass skins and the gambling sites. That was fine. No problems with that. But PewDiePie says the N-word on a Twitch stream or whatever. Oh, you gotta go, son. And there was also the recent one with Markiplier, where after months of getting upset of his videos getting hidden and delisted because he was saying spicy words, curses. I mean, Markiplier is not even political in the slightest. Like, he is the softest kind of political, but he curses, and that's too much for YouTube now.
Yep, because Puritans cannot handle it. The problem with a lot of the things is that Puritans have gotten a good hold of YouTube's administration, and now they're attempting to shut down and censor anything that might make ads or things like that, dangerous. That's why, we always see so many streams turn yellow or so many videos turn yellows from various content creators I've talked to. It's becoming the new standard. It's like you're yellow because you dared to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
You dared to say, a slur. You dared to say a swear word. You dared to just speak. How dare you? And now you're yellow. You have limited ads. So they're doing everything in their power to actively censor and actively attack content creators to try to strong-arm them into conforming into their soulless corporate standard of, nothing wrong, nothing spicy, nothing, no mean words, just purely calm and organized, sterile content.
Yep. She also oversaw the invasion, straight up, of the Viners and the Wine, not Winers, mind you, but Viner. That was that stupid little short form video sharing site. Which included, of course, Logan Paul, who immediately went on to film a dead dude in the Japanese suicide forest, which was brilliant marketing for YouTube too.
I mean, yeah.
There was also a guy who faked his own kidnapping and murder as well. Just
murder even.
Oh yeah. Like the shock value of some of this content was off the charts, shall we say?
I guess, the YouTube grind, whatever it takes to, get them fucking tendies at the end of the day. Fair enough, right?
Oh, yeah. Now, the Markiplier thing, too. The thing that got him on YouTube's bad side was that he played a hentai game. Produced by our buddy Barbecue, incidentally.
Remember, we can't refer to where it is. I'm always saying that for your own safety. I'm trying to help you.
He played a video game.
Yes. A video game with spicy content. See, I'm helping Arch here because this sucks. I know exactly what it is and the name of it, but we cannot say it. If we say it, we could get in serious trouble. Censorship, again. Strikes again.
Because the point that Markiplier was trying to make was basically look at how much I have to edit to conform to the YouTube TOS. And the video was basically just a blur, because that's how the TOS works, and that was the point. But that, of course, pissed off Susan, and that introduced the rule that is currently gagging us, where you are not even allowed to reference a place where you might encounter hentai video games.
Yeah, something, something with content.
Which, of course, also, and bearing in mind, too, this is obviously a cudgel used exclusively against specific targets. It's not an actual rule, it is a weapon. Because if it was actually, if it was an actual force, and that you are not allowed to link to any place that has hentai, you could not link to Steam. Fuck, you couldn't link to Google.
Yep. Here's the problem. It's a catch-all. It exists purely to catch anyone the minute we say anything. It sucks because it's like you're starting to have to, when you make content, when we're casually playing video games, you and I, Arch, when we even do this podcast, right? We have to actively think about what we say, in the sense that if we say that like this, we might get a strike. We might get in trouble. You have to live in fear. Of a hammer waiting above your head to bonk you the minute you say the wrong word. Yes. How awful.
And Susan has overseen Adpocalypse after Adpocalypse after Adpocalypse. Also, I'm gonna send you one link here of the in the link channel, right? Because I mentioned this, and this is the whole Viner thing. Oh my god, was that a mistake? So it's just to lay out a little bit of this here. A couple of miners came up with the idea to make a YouTube video where they had a friend of theirs, the dude tied to the chair, and they would simulate the kidnapping of the Viner, who was he knew, and then kidnap them, and then have him shot on a roof whilst the friend knew absolutely nothing about what was happening. And the dude is literally screaming and crying and scared out of his fucking mind because duh.
You know, that's actually messed up. There is such a thing as taking a prank too far. For instance, let's say that friend they didn't know about, but he had to conceal and carry, and then shoots the other guy. Like, there is such a thing as you know, you fuck around, you find out. Like, that is exactly what would happen here. They're lucky that nobody was actually seriously injured. Because when you start to mess around like
fucking traumatized.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a serious strain on the relationship as friends after that. It's like, why did you do that to me?
So, Susan's reign has been, difficult.
Nightmarish. Honestly, it's good that it's coming to a close, but the sad reality is that until Alphabet changes in its corporate structure, which is going to take forever, because the only way to change Google or Alphabet is for literally more people, like people in chat, to start, hey, I'm going to start working at this place to change this place. People need to go in and do what the Wokest did to us. They need to go into these companies and subvert them from the inside and clean house. Like, that's the way you're going to fix this problem.
Well, it's unlikely to be happening anytime soon.
Exactly. I don't expect that to happen.
But yeah, in all due likelihood, it is in large parts due to failing numbers that Susan eventually had to leave the top chair rather than any of her censorship decisions, which is, of course, why the new guy is probably going to embrace everything that she did and more. Because here's the thing. Okay, if we assume that the assumption that she was fired over flagging revenue is true, which seems reasonable considering everything we've seen, and then you put in a new guy whose specialty is NFTs, blockchains, and Web 3.0.
Yeah, it's just not, that's not going to be very good. Like, the thing is, I remember LBRY. You remember them? Library? LBRY?
Library, yes.
Yes, they had their own alternative to YouTube, and it's like, we pay you in like Bitcoins or library coins. And I've got like 1,000 of them, and I think they're worth nothing or whatever. But the problem is like, I don't, like, I'm not going to use library. I'm not going to update my content library besides the automatic update system that is there. Because, like, what the fuck, what am I going to do with this stuff? Like, it doesn't turn into money. Like, it doesn't feed me as a content creator. Like, I need revenue, just like you need revenue. That's why, like, things like Rumble or other places, they need to up their revenue, like, game. Like, make it like an actual place for content creators to be able to live off of, because they're trying to turn this into a career, and that's what content creators are. They're career based. So in order for us to move or migrate to an alternative, we need a source of revenue. And if YouTube does that, like, that would be the best. That would be the best thing for competitors. That'd be literally an apocalypse for us as content creators, though. Oh, it would be awful.
Because here's the thing, right? So he's probably going to try and monetize YouTube
more than it already is.
Fully. And there's only so many ways to do that. Because there's already Superchats, which was a huge success for YouTube. Very popular. And they are earning a buttload of that. The ad revenue is undoubtedly taking a pounding and has been taking a continuous pounding for years and years. So God knows where that is at now. And he needs to right that ship. So ad revenue, that's going to be difficult to do anything with directly because it's dependent on advertisers who are famously skittish. It's basically dependent on being able to foresee controversy and avoid it before it happens, which just isn't going to happen, just straight up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like most of this stuff. It's like everybody that's always like, oh, you know, being on YouTube, you're part of the problem. You need to switch to Rumble. It's like, okay, I go to Rumble. I starved to death. I'm like, okay, there, I died. You cease to exist. The problem is like, we just got to hunker down. And that's unfortunately the reality of the situation we're in now. Also, before we get too far, you might want to consider super time.
They're patient, Kyle. They know the drill.
It's stacking up though. Bart's like, I like it tall. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So the advertising thing, it's going to be difficult. Like the only thing they could do to secure steady advertising revenue, unironically, is to just not give a fuck at all. Just to go back to the days of old and just say like, now this isn't our business. Like, you don't want to run ads on this channel, like that's fine. That's your prerogative, but we don't care.
Yep.
Because every time they've been chasing the, oh no, not this, or anything, it's only made shit worse. It's only created less content, and it's only introduced wider restrictions on everybody. It doesn't work. But there is no way they're going to do that. So that solution is off the table. Okay. Superchats. Could they expand them somehow? They already take 30% of just sending a message. They could, I guess, introduce some kind of even more obnoxious system, like pay money to send an obnoxious sound to somebody or something, I guess. But I don't think that's really going to be on the table either. They have the donation button. Like some videos have a donate button now, where you can give people money for reasons.
It's like a tip comment. Like it's an idea. It generates revenue. I've made a few bucks off of it, but it's not the best. Honestly, one of the biggest things they're seriously lacking is they need to fully exploit the membership functionality. YouTube memberships are one of the biggest missed opportunities I've ever seen from any company. Like Twitch does their memberships a little better, and the fact that they could, to encourage and incentivize memberships, give the YouTube creator the ability to insert more custom emojis, the ability to insert custom supers animations, things like that, little voice lines and things like that. All sorts of customization functions and features that Twitch is so far ahead, despite Twitch self-destructing over there, by the way, that YouTube could just simply copy these monetary methods that they have there. And instead of gatekeeping these things, these features and functionalities, make them more accessible. There's already a limit on content creators when you first start making a video, because I talked to some people that wanted to get into YouTube. Like, why is my video, when I upload it, so horribly quality? It's like, well, YouTube doesn't even let you upload higher quality until you've done like an X amount of content or had an X amount of things. And then after that, there's then the subscriber and view time and watch time, or subscriber, view count, and I think watch time threshold that you need to make. I think those are the three. And before you can even monetize the channel. And then after you do that, then you need to reach another goal in order for you to get another feature to even enhance your channel, to basically bring it up to the other, to par with the other ones. And the fact that YouTube also actively goes out of their way to not promote any new content creators at all means that new content creators are so heavily suppressed, despite how talented or skilled they could be, and adding more content, which is free for YouTube, which is free ad revenue for them and free monetary stuff. They are actively going out of the way to suppress them. So this is a bed they've made themselves because they're idiots. And they want to directly control what people say, and they want to control who talks and who can't. That's why Susan here, that stupid bitch, is able to do what she's able to do, because she doesn't want everyone to be successful. She only wants people who agree with her to be successful. And if you don't, and you don't have the same thought process, it's not about business, it's not about monetary, it's purely ideological, and that's unfortunate. I think it's one of the cornerstone issues we have here.
I condemn this gendered language.
Sometimes you have to be mean, but that's the only way to get the point across.
Because there's only so many ways to monetize viewers, and I think they've done just about everything. There's tips on videos, there's super chats, there's memberships, there's premium. They've done pretty much everything they can. That's not really going to be an option either. YouTube Premium would probably be the best option they have, but they need to actually offer some value to these things, which so far they have declined to do. So that means that, okay, what could they do? Well, NFTs. There you go. There's a beautiful option, and I guarantee you this. In the next 6 months to a year, I'd probably say, some of the larger channels, the people who are already friendly with YouTube, shall we say, are probably going to start offering you unique opportunities to monetize your fandom, to be a part of something greater than yourself, whatever floaty language you'll want to use. And that'll be by buying NFTs.
Yep. NFTs are going to fail. Like, the crypto thing just never really took on. Whether that was due to interference or meddling, I don't know the details. I don't care. All I know is the introduction of crypto into YouTube is going to be nothing short of a disaster. We definitely do not want that. And that is definitely no way to help us in the long run. Or themselves. But the issue is this guy is very big on crypto, so he's going to probably force it into the system, regardless of whether it benefits or anything.
Are you talking about Nerdrotic? Is Nerdrotic doing NFTs?
What? Oh my
I'm
god.
not talking about anyone specifically. This is a theoretical situation right here.
Yeah, no, we're talking
but
about
if it's
YouTube.
happening already, I guess I guess I'm ahead of my time. But the thing is, one of the reasons why NFTs failed was because they weren't done on a large enough basis, and so it basically only tried to appeal to the market that already sort of knew what was up. So a lot of people smelled the bullshit near immediately. But when it comes to normies, take for example the audience of your average like super big old school gaming streamer, yeah, the PewDiePie generation, right? A lot of these people have never been political in any way. They've never really talked about current events. They are not tech people or anything like that. They're the people who are watched by 14, 15-year-olds, right?
Yep, generally.
Their audience are not going to know what an NFT is. Best case scenario, they will understand that it's kind of like that Bitcoin thing that was super popular, and that totally made loads of money. So if they too can totally make loads of money on their fandom of whomever, then wouldn't that be amazing? And you're sending that message out to millions of 14, 15-year-olds.
Yep. It'll be a big disaster of mom's and dad's credit card.
The thing is, it could work. It unironically could work if you get enough suckers on board, basically. Because all you need is like one success story. With one dude who manages to get bunches of people on board and what is essentially a pyramid scheme, and his tokens become worth a lot of money, and then people sell it off, and you've got the Bored Ape thing, where people think that this is somehow, an investment.
Yeah, that's just gonna be a disaster either way. Some people will, like, a very minute handful will come out as success stories. The vast majority will get nothing. And if they get anything, it will be negligible at best.
And as chat says, yes, NFTs are unironically a scam. It's true, because you are selling something that has no value on the promise that it'll totally have value someday, bro. Trust me. But it'll have more value if you get more people aboard.
Basically, you need to scam more people to get on board so that it has enough value, and then you cash out quickly while it still has value. So yeah, it is very much like a pyramid scheme. So the idea is that only a handful of people will succeed. The vast majority of sheep, or sheeple as you want to call them, will be the lambs for sacrifice.
Yes. So that'll be one point of monetization. And again, I think NFTs are so universally hated at this point that it's going to be an enormous risk for anyone who gets aboard.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I honestly imagine that there's going to be a huge universal outcry on all spectrums across YouTube if they try to introduce that. Because I just imagine it's going to be nothing but negativity. Because remember that one time when YouTube did those, what do they call them? YouTube, like, end of the year things, and how YouTube collectively shat. Like, as a community, shat on all those, like, what do they call them? They were, like, year summaries of content creation or whatever.
The rewind, yes.
Yeah, those were just a fucking... That was just a disaster for YouTube's PR. A laughing stock. The entirety of YouTube mocked it. Yeah, I did.
See, that's what they could do though. Like, okay, for example, say that you make an NFT that has a special little token. It's all cute, cutesy like looking. You know, you got PewDiePie's face on it, and he's smiling and like giving you the bro face, etc. Whatever cringy shit you want. Okay.
Yep.
And it's linked to a video, and that video is one of those special videos. Like, for me, it would be the Death Code of Krieg video and the start of the Siege of Rax, which
Yep.
everybody says they love. Hell, even people who fucking hate me say like, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yep.
You know, one of those videos. And now what you have done is essentially you have commodified a memory. Right? You've got good memories of this person, this video, this point in your life, and it can be all yours eternally. You're a unique piece of that memory for $9.99 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, entirely possible. But like the other thing is like YouTube can't really do much with that. Like the reality is content creators already are doing stuff. There are alternatives like Redbubble and other platforms for us to make our own content and merchandising, and we already do that, and we get more profits from the with partnership with those corporations. Oh my god,
Actually,
yeah.
I do need to need to mention this.
The Trump NFTs. These were fucking retarded. Oh my god.
They were cute though. You can scroll down, you can see some of them. Like they are special.
The astronaut one hurts me the most.
The thing is, that is absolutely something YouTube could do, and I wouldn't be surprised if people got aboard. And if YouTube can do it properly, you can reach a lot more people. Because, you know, having Redbubble and having merchant stores and stuff are all well and good, but they're very much so secondary and tertiary. If YouTube integrates and pushes this, it would be such a bigger market to reach to. I mean, look at what Trump did. Okay, so when he's offered these NFTs, like $1,000 fucking NFTs, I was like, that's retarded. Like, has he finally gone insane or something? They sold out within a day.
And the reality is, I think the common man is just not very intelligent. That is
fucking be.
No, I mean, I'm serious though.
I'll reframe it, because this feeds back to the point I made previously. It's not about intelligence, it's about knowledge. Somebody sees a Trump NFT and not knowing what an NFT is, thinks, oh, that's pretty cool. And they view it as an investment or as a campaign donation or whatever. And
maybe a collectible. See, that is more, I like that a lot more than the NFTs.
$100 NFTs.
Okay. 1,000 is absurd. But 100 is a little bit more. Like, to me, I look at these card things and be like, oh, it's a collectible, a collector's item. Like, you know, you collect it. Yeah, collector's items always have value. And collector's items have been around for friggin' ever, by the way. But NFTs is like, you know, the idea of turning into collector's items into, like, you know, their own currency as a sort of way. So I don't know. Like okay.
I don't know either, but I think there's a way that YouTube could get away with this. I really do. And if I think so, I bet you the new CEO thinks though. So there will be NFTs in the near future, and when you start seeing it on popular YouTube channels, just know I called it.
Look at Barch. He's turning into Rush Limbaugh. He's like, I am a prophet. Don't argue with me. I'm right. I called it too.
I did call it.
Our little prophet over here. Oh, adorable.
The question is how bad it's going to affect everybody else though, because they already experimented with longer unskippable ads. They already experimented with more ads in a video. Like they've already done the thing where for a while they automated the insertion of ads. Like they made a system that automatically inserted ads in every video it ever made every few seconds. And you couldn't opt out of it, which is why a bunch of the videos on my lore channel are just fucking chock full of ads. I opted out of that as quickly as I could, and it didn't fucking matter. I even purged a bunch of videos of it, and it still happens. It's retarded.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I actually do, because I remember I was just like, God, I can't get this thing to turn off.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
That's the problem with ads. It's a bit of a death spiral in that people don't want to watch them, and so people make them more obnoxious or difficult to avoid, and people want to watch them even less.
Yep. That's why the thing is, as a content creator, you should always turn on your ads, because if you don't, you're actually we theorize that you're actively being suppressed. You're lowering yourself in the view chain. But while you should always have your ads enabled, you should always encourage your audience to use ad block. And then what you hope is that, everybody throws in a couple bucks here and they're like, hey, if you enjoyed the content, maybe $1 or $2 here or there. Literally is like all the ad revenue it would have ever equated to ever. And it goes to the content creator instead of, some corporatist fat fuck at YouTube that literally hates your guts and hates the content creator you watch too.
Probably. But that might be the other answer to improving monetization by just making the platform gayer. Straight
Maybe.
up. Simple as.
Sadly, this is the path YouTube has elected to take in. And we just have to sort of figure out how to weather it.
Yep. So, will YouTube be better now that Susan is stepping down? I'm not so sure. I definitely don't think it'll be better.
Yeah.
But if we're very lucky, maybe it won't get worse. That's right about where we're at.
Yep. Like we've said earlier, the status quo is, I think, the best we could hope for in this situation. Hopefully, this NFT bro guy that gets in charge, like maybe his subordinates will talk him out of this silly little notion, but we'll have to wait and see what they do. And I think, unfortunately, I really don't want you to be right. I would like you not to be Nostradamus Arch, because if you could do me a solid and that be wrong on that, that'd be great. Because I feel like this NFT thing could be really bad. I don't like the idea of it. It just sounds nasty.
There is every chance it's going to be absolutely terrible. And everybody is going to be very, very sad. And everybody is going to remember what they had under Susan. And they're going to miss her.
We're gonna send letters like, please come back. We miss your censorship, your censorious policies so much. So, oh, that's so sweet. I would love to suppress you more.
Please, Susan, step us. Your step was gentler than that of the Indian man.
While the high heel was sharp and painful, it wasn't as blunt and hurtful as the boot of the Indian.
Yes. Ah, Christ. All right, I'll do these super chats now. Then we can make fun of the indigenous people of Norway. Fucking indigenous people.
Disgusting. Savages. Barely even human.
Not human at all, in fact.
Fair enough. More power.
Swift Nation says, "But praise Overlord. Glad I'm on vacation and can stay on drinking and watching your stream." Wow. Benefit indeed. Now remember, don't choke on your drink, because if you do, you won't be able to pay me for my NFTs.
Fair enough. Yeah, don't kill yourself, chat. You need to be ready to open up those wallets for those NFTs.
My annual NFT will be just a little arch with like jewels in it. It'll be all cute and shit.
One of the lines will be off still.
Yep, of course. That's characteristic.
It's a staple of the series. Wouldn't have it any other way.
That's how it works. Although I actually think that the line on the ArchCast is straight, much to my chagrin.
We'll have to contact future artists to make sure they correct this mistake.
Yep, that's going to need to be fixed, of course. Noreen says, "So Arch, did you guys hear about the Hogwarts gang? May have bitten off too much this time. They went after Silvervale, and it might not end well. I've already seen a lot of buzz about it. Thoughts on the backlash?" So, VTuber drama is something I am very peripherally attached to. But I did see a little bit of this. Silvervale is one of many VTubers that I do not understand how he's popular, but such is life and my lack of understanding of the VTuber market. But basically, she decided to play Hogwarts Legacy and then got bullied for it and then cried over it because she's a woman and that's what women do. And then had a long speech on it, and to my ears, all I hear is woman doesn't understand why woman is in pain. Like literally, I am looking at a female stuck in a bear trap that she's strapped on and goes like, why? Because I can explain why.
Well,
I
you
know
see,
why.
you stepped in a trap. It's like, it hurts, though.
I can detail why. But she puts forth the normie point of view. Like, why should I be yelled at for doing this? Like, I'm not anti-trans. Like, and she isn't. She's woke as fuck. So there's that.
Hmm.
And that, of course, then get people to kind of sort of realize that, yeah, they are attacking my favorite kawaii streamer, Uwu. And that is how you turn the normies on these people. Like, unironically, this is why the website that was tracking who had played the games to organize harassment campaigns got shut down after 24 hours because people looked at that and went like, wow, this is blatantly wrong.
Yeah, that's actually sickening. They're tracking and stalking and harassing people based on what they do. Like, that is seriously fucked up.
Yes. There was also that other dude who was also, I believe, woke as hell, who got bullied to tears on his YouTube stream. At which point I'm just like, if you cry because the chat is mean to you, seek another profession, I guess, but such is life.
Well, I kind of hope that it's an eye-opening experience for them. I doubt it, of course, but it would be nice for these people to realize, like, hey, maybe, you know, being like, this is the wokest stuff. This is what comes with being woke. Like, these are the people you curtail, these Puritan, like, retarded fuckwits. Like, maybe
Curtail?
or, well, not curtail. Listen, don't interrupt my chain of thought. I'm gonna get derailed like a choo-choo very quickly. Like all those choo-choos in Ohio. But maybe you should try to, you know, stop being the way you are and stop being woke. It would be lovely if more people could maybe see the dangers of being woke, that the censorious path is not good. Maybe few people will learn.
First and foremost, the word that Kyle was looking for was court, or court. Yeah.
Court is more the word.
Yeah.
I just sort of,
But
you know, glossed over it, whatever.
that is a point as well. Like, yes, I do hope that some of them have had a bit of an eye-opener, as they have now courted a very woke audience for a very long time. They've said all the nice things. They've made all the mewling words at the screen, like BLM, I support trans lives, all trans lives matter, there's a trans genocide out there. They've made all of the noises. And then they broke dogma, and then the wokies broke them. I do hope that was a lesson. I hope and pray. I doubt it, but it would be nice.
It would be nice to turn more people to the correct side of history. Start using their lingo. Become the enemy.
Indeed.
Struggle sessions are not always effective.
But sometimes they are.
That's true.
I hope they continue to attack VTubers. I hope they continue to bully them into tears. And I hope they do it live, because that is very beneficial to my position on this particular matter. And see, I know that is cruel, because having seen some of these VTubers, I know that a lot of them are thick as bricks and do not understand why they are being attacked. And I understand that is a nasty feeling, as you're sitting there and thinking like, but I'm a good person. Why are bricks being thrown at me? But you know, I'm a culture war on this particular topic. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the parasocial relationship. They were put on a pedestal, and now they've shattered that view, that pedestal that they were on, and now they're getting the violent reaction from that relationship.
Yes,
Like,
they're also not anywhere near enough based VTubers. Like fucking V Shoujo isn't based, and with the kind of jokes they make, oh, I'd be very afraid of being anything but as based as I possibly could, frankly. But oh well.
Yep. Well, the VTuber industry is extremely woke. This is, you know, how it is. In the indie sphere, you're going to see a lot less of that.
That is true. But yes, again, I hope the bullying continues, because it will improve morale in the long term.
I knew you were going with that.
Baba Talk says, jumping in real quick for a drive-by chat to sing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Witch, old witch, the Wicked Witch. Ding Dong, the Wicked Witch is dead. Let's just hope she isn't replaced by the Wicked Wizard, I guess.
Yeah, true. We got Saruman now. Oh boy, here we go.
Nietzsche says, Arch, are you keeping up with the Age of Wonder 4 news? If so, thoughts on the customization? I am not, specifically because of who is currently making it. It's just... See, here's the thing. Age of Wonders is a really cool old series that is kind of like proto-Magic in a way.
Oh, yeah.
But often with more cool stuff. Like Age of Wonders is a really cool little series. And it's being made by Triumph Studios. Now, Triumph made Age of Wonders Planetfall, which was not at all bad. In fact, I'd say it was actually pretty damn good, honestly. Were it not for the fact that they didn't think that a multiplayer through for 2 fucking seconds.
Yeah, we tried multiplayer, and while the tactical battles are really cool, you kind of have to do them. So the problem in multiplayer is you're like, oh, hey, let's get the gang together. Let's play a big game, right? And you're like, oh my god, one turn takes like hours because people can't simultaneously do their own battles. Everyone has to wait to load everyone's battle. And at the same time, not only is that part of it, but you can't like seamlessly switch between the campaign world or that. So you're just like, oh, I gotta do the battle stuff. Yeah, that was not good. I love Planetfall though. Planetfall was actually really good. It was my first Age of Wonders game.
Yep, it was pretty damn good, and they do have a long history. They are also the guys who made Overlord, for example. I liked both the Overlord games. I thought they were pretty cute. Age of Wonders 3 was mediocre. I didn't like it myself. 1 and 2 are obviously like classics, etc.
Yeah.
But they're now, of course, a Paradox studio.
Yes, they're gonna get DLC to fucking hell and back. And it's going to take forever for them to add basic mechanics.
Yeah, I've lost most faith in Paradox. Here's the thing, too. I learned with Stellaris that when Paradox says something that sounds too good to be true, it is.
Too good to be true, indeed. Yeah. Remember that time they're like in Hearts of Iron, like, oh, we're going to improve the frontline system, and they broke it with the Field Marshal front lines? That's still broken, by the way. We streamed Hearts of Iron the other day, and the frontline system will occasionally reshuffle your divisions, which means they lose their entrenchment, they lose their organization because they're moving and shuffling, and the shuffle truffle causes your entire front line to collapse. Because if you use that fucking frontline system, they haven't fixed it. Like, it's still broken. It's been broken ever since they introduced that. It's like, they don't fix things, and when they do, they normally charge you $20 for it.
Yes.
Paradox is greedy.
I'm gonna hold off on that, and we'll see. I hope it's good, but after Victoria 3, my hope is small.
Yep.
Martin James says, I see the change of management to be just like when Jack Dorsey stepped down from Twitter. The new CEO was responsible for removing the dislikes and censorship. Been nice knowing you, but I am bracing for the channel purges. Entirely possible. Oh, that was another thing too. She did remove the dislike bar. Universally, because the dislike bar was being used against the mainstream. Because the fucking Marvel, the big movie company, latest trailer is getting fucked on the internet. Fix it.
You're hurting our PR.
You're doing this to protect small creators. No, you're not.
No. Because the best way to see whether people like your content or whether you've hit a hot button issue as a content creator, like Arch and myself, is to A, look at the comments, and B, look at the like to dislike ratio. Like, oh, okay, there's a lot of dislikes here. Well, let's take a look at why that happened.
Turned off comments yet, Kyle?
I like my comments. I get to see them say stupid stuff, and then they call me gay. I'm like,
That was another thing, the ability to turn off comments.
They're already censored, by the way. So, by the way, chat, in case you're not aware, chat right now is censored. Most of you may not know this, but if your chat mode is set to top chat, you're viewing censored chat. You need to go in, click the button, and set it to live chat. If you're reading comments, all comments, like it's like top comments or whatever, that's also censored. You need to switch over to like newest and read them that way. Yes, it's kind of annoying, but that is literally the best way to see where the actual comments are, because those are censored.
Even your comments on my regular videos are censored. There is a minimum degree of censorship that YouTube forces onto your channel that you cannot turn off I
Yep.
have tried. You just can't.
The only way
Which
to
is
deal
why,
with
for
it.
example, if you try posting links in chat, it just won't let you. It
Oh,
just won't.
yep. Well, you can also set that setting. Like moderators, I made it so they could do it. But the other thing about comments and stuff is, gosh darn it, if there's yes, it automatically censors them, but the content creator has to manually go to the comment section of the Discord, go for held for review tab, then manually approve them. I do that every Sunday at the end of a week, and manually approve the censored comments.
So yeah, that's life for you. Hopefully, as the cultural swing begins to move in full shift, which it is, we will see less of it, but it's gonna take years. Game Goblin says, it's not just political censored. Search for gaming or media. You get the Kotaku. Search for spooky videos. Nothing there. YouTube is boring now. Oh yeah, again, that was the problem. Back in the good old days, when the algorithm was just whatever the fuck, everybody was on a level playing field. And obviously, the playing field is never completely level, duh. Like, if somebody had been doing YouTube for a year, he's going to have bigger advantage than you. If somebody has access to money and can do fancy graphics, he's going to have an advantage over you, etc., etc.
Yep.
But everything had equal potential. Nowadays, that just doesn't fucking happen anymore. Like, occasionally, someone will find a way to game the system. And in fact, gaming the system has become a job, practically. Like, many of the bigger content creators hire entire teams specifically to troll through YouTube and look for holes in the algorithm, because that's what you need to do now.
Yep. A lot of those YouTubers.
It's not about
the
content. It's about fucking figuring out what the fucking bot likes.
If I remember right, isn't that the Spiffin Brit boy? I think he's got like a whole like staff dedicated to that or something to figure out like a glitch in the algorithm. That's how he was able to pop so high, because he eventually released those things that he did, but normally it's after they're no longer effective. Like originally it was like the community post gimmick was another way to get high engagement, which would basically trick YouTube's algorithm into popping your channel super high up. That was about a year or two ago. I remember that.
Yep, he's been doing that as well. Many others too. Like the old school YouTubers have been doing this for years, with literally staffs dedicated to analyzing the algorithm. And there's also people, of course, who have connections with YouTube itself to help them figure out the algorithm too.
Mm-hmm. It always helps when you have an inside man or lad.
And
or lass.
sometimes you get to a position where you can get the algorithm to work for you, and then you're not somebody that YouTube likes. Like Jeremy, the Quartering, for example, who made his like 4th or 5th channel, that was the one that blew up, which is the Quartering now. He has tons of channels because he has been trying to get into that sweet spot for years, and finally, he succeeded, and much love to him for it. But then, YouTube noticed and went like, no. And suddenly, views, subscriber count, everything fucking plateaued and then plummeted. Because they know too. Like, that's the thing. When you think you've beaten the algorithm, if you beat it hard enough, they're just gonna kill you.
Mm-hmm. I do like our friend Rageaholic Razorfist. He managed to just kept going. He broke through just by sheer perseverance. Instead of making new channels, he kept going with the same channel, hunkered down, and eventually exploded. Because eventually the big break happens if you hang in there.
And they choked his ass too, but much quicker. Like, Razorfist has been soldiering on he's been on YouTube longer than I have. He's been soldiering on it for years and years and years, and just doing the work. And so much fucking credit to him for it. And he finally managed to get past that algorithm where he got like 200,000 subs in like a couple of months. And then YouTube noticed, and now he's back to regular growth again. Mm-hmm. Because YouTube fucking hates you. That's why.
Yep. Big breaks will happen. You just have to... There's 2 options you have. You can just create a new channel, or you can hunker down and just keep on trucking and use the power of word of mouth and encourage your audience to spread the word. The same goes for Arch's content. If you like his content, spread the word, because the best way to overcome the algorithm is through the power of the word of mouth. That's the only way you can get around it, is if people can like your content enough and share your content for them. It's how we get around censorship.
Yes, but again, the algorithm will do with you what it wishes.
Exactly.
Nice and simple. There was a time there where the Ukraine thing, for example, was blowing up, and the algorithm loved that, and then they realized, hold on, there's too many people having the wrong opinion.
I no longer
And
like that.
Then they fixed that problem too.
Well, it's...
YouTube would be so much better without the fucking algorithm. But such is life.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mark James says there is a reason why YouTube made that certain that T-Series overtook PewDiePie in subscriptions. Oh yeah, yeah, I should have mentioned that too, because that was a crime. That was a fucking crime. And now PewDiePie isn't even the second largest channel. He is the archetypical example of what happens when you fall out of YouTube's favor. Now he's PewDiePie. He's never gonna be poor. They will never be able to crush PewDiePie.
He is a god,
but
yeah,
he
in terms of
was
content creators.
oh yeah, he was the largest guy on YouTube for a decade, for absolute ages, because of the content he was making. And then suddenly you're telling me that people don't like his content anymore? Suddenly he's not the top, not second place, not third place, not fourth place. He's continuing to fall in the rankings. What? Did YouTube's audience change? Or did YouTube change?
Yep, exactly. And it's definitely YouTube. The worst part is the tragic tale about PewDiePie in that regard is the individual content creator, the individual, the literal PewDiePie. He is the quote unquote YouTube, the U in tube, and to be beaten by a soulless, shitty, heartless corporation, like, ugh, gross. What a disgusting thing to see. That was a loss for everyone, not just PewDiePie.
Yep, that was it's one of it's an internet history moment. That was the moment when YouTube elected to side with the corporations over their creators. Because that was the thing too. What people figured out eventually was that the reason why T-Series had such amazing growth was that everyone who signed up to a YouTube account from India would automatically subscribe to them.
Yep. Because that's... Oh, yeah. So not only were they cheating the system, they had to cheat the system, promote the hell out of it, and use one of the world's largest populated countries on the globe to basically strong-arm like themselves into getting into a stronger position above an individual. Talk about petty, talk about small and weak.
Yep, it was a big change on YouTube. Jesus is here, look busy, says, have you guys heard the Wokists have started censoring Roald Dahl books? They're watering down James and the Giant Peach, the BFG, Willy Wonka, etc. Yes, I have. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have
Got a link
here somewhere. Pronounce Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
See, the problem is, Gibbs actually speaks Norwegian surprisingly well.
What?
What? I had him tell Bubbles that he was a Communist Party voter the other day, and he was actually understandable to the point where Bubbles understood what I was saying to him.
Yep. I was communicated through as if I was a little microphone.
It's true. He has that weird intonation. Like, it sounds wrong, but it sounds like that adorable immigrant worker who's really trying.
Maybe there's something there. Maybe I'm your long-lost brother.
Oh no, if anything, like, you were the descendant of Norwegian immigrants to Ireland, because that's what I've always said, there's Irish in you somewhere.
Oh, there's definitely no Irish in me, boy.
There definitely is.
Oh, I ain't no potato
but yes,
boy.
Roald Dahl, a Norwegian, by the way, made many, many famous children books, like Chonka and the Chonky Factory. I'm just going to double down on that. Fuck you.
Okay, fair enough.
And they listed some of the changes. Augustus Gloop is no longer fat, which is... Now, if you want to talk fucking petty, now there's petty. Like, but this character is overweight, though. Yeah, he's meant to literally personify excess and greed. Like, that's his point in the story, to be a warning tale against, well, greed. And it's like, but he can't be fat. People would think that fat people are greedy. Only because they eat so much food.
Yeah. Gluttony.
Mrs. Twit is no longer fearfully ugly. It's like, this is a joke. This is a joke for children. Because children will read fearfully ugly and they will giggle. Like, fearfully ugly. It's because they're fucking children. You could write penis and instead they'd laugh. No,
It's not hard to make a kid
as
laugh.
demonstrated by Kib, the child in the room.
Wow. Under the bus I go, I guess.
Yes.
Like...
And the Oompa Loompas are gender neutral.
That's funny. That's actually retarded.
Now, to be fair, I never viewed the Oompa Loompas as a human. So
Me neither. So fair enough. Maybe they do cell division. They mitosis or whatever it's called. They vibrate and then split. And like boop.
yeah, no, I figured the Oompa Loompas were just something that Willy Wonka invented. That they were some kind of disgusting genetic mutant hybrid or something he'd created from a combination of Twix and chocolate. I guess I don't know.
Maybe little kids that fall into the river. That's what happens to them.
Maybe maybe he just abducts children and makes them all Oompa Loompas.
With his vile experiments.
I will say, one of the best casting decisions in history has got to be the Oompa Loompas in that one really weird movie about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Remember these guys? The Oompa Loompas. Look
Oh,
up.
yes, I do.
Fucking hell, that is amazing. Like, that just looks so fucking awful. I hate it so much, and yet it is perfect.
I love the facial expression they're all seem to be making. It's that same sort of weird smile, like.
That was some excellent casting. Like, obviously superior to the original Oompa Loompas in every way. Like,
wow.
Okay. If you haven't watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, the new one, you need to. Well, new one. It's probably like fucking 15 years old at this point. But the recent one, the one with that creepy looking dude. What was his name?
Oh, crap. I don't remember. But he was also... Did he play the Scissorhand dude? I remember the
I think
actor.
so. Like,
he's got a weird
Johnny Depp.
smile. Johnny
No,
Depp.
Johnny Depp. Like, when he wants to, he looks like just the most child molestery of molesters you have ever seen. Like, he just looks weird.
That weird smile he does, and especially his posture in this movie. That's why he's so good at playing like very awkward or weird characters.
Like, don't get me wrong. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is an awful movie for what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be a children's movie. It isn't. It's a fucking horror show. Like, children would be crying at this shit, surely.
Well, it's sort of like Grimm's what do you call it, Tales or whatever. Like, it's the idea of like, it's supposed to be a lesson about how to behave and be good. That's what I always viewed it as.
Kind of, but the original was never dark in that sense. Like,
that's true.
The original had some gruesome shit happen to children, but it was done in that children's show gruesome shit, where it was like, ha, she was eaten by squirrels.
She'll be
in the
taken
Johnny
care
Depp
of
version,
later.
like, they tear her to pieces and walk away with their fucking eyeballs.
Yep, dead.
Yep. Like, that movie is just uncomfortable. Oy.
I also like the set pieces. They were fun.
Roald Dahl is getting sensitized, which is what you need to do, of course. Yeah. There are also no female characters anymore. And the word female has been replaced with woman. I don't even know why they.
Okay.
I mean, no, I get it. It's female because female is referencing sex, whereas woman is just your gendered identity.
I identify as a woman versus you cannot become a female. Yeah, I see the logic there. As fucked up as it is.
Yep. Along with dozens of other little changes too. Basically, they've butchered his work completely. And
tragedy.
This is what I say when it's like, but I should have the original. No, you don't. You have you have the original in your bookshelf until you lose it or until it goes away in a fire, or until it rots away, or whatever. The point is, when people do this to works of literature, they will replace them eventually. There will come a time when Tolkien's Lord of the Rings no longer exists, but Amazon's Lord of the Rings does. And that is why I fucking hate this shit so much, because this is book burning in the modern form, where they don't actually destroy anything, they simply replace it in the public conscious.
That's why if you ever see a book like this, or a book like this in any type, you simply just, throw it away. It is to be
in the store.
disposed
Don't
of.
even buy it. Just burn it right there in the shop.
I mean, why not? Like, they ain't gonna stop you. They're probably just gonna look at you and call the police. So you have a limited amount of time to act.
That's true.
Most people won't intervene, but they will call the police. So if you use your time right, I'm joking, by the way, joking.
You have a very limited time frame, but it's possible.
Act with what time you have. Like, okay.
Act decisively.
Chat begins to train for their mission. We become the book burners. My God. We become the enemy. Fight fire with fire. Get it? Because we're burning their books. 2 on the nose? No, maybe.
Lord Martin says, take into account, Kibbo, Twitch might have a copyright or a patent or whatever on those practices because those laws are broken and need to be purged. Yes, Kib, you fool.
Possibly, but I've seen other platforms use them. It's more likely that YouTube is just slow and inept, which is, considering how YouTube has already been copying what Twitch has been doing, but very slowly and taking their sweet time to give us the basic features. Yeah, I think it's more of a YouTube problem, if anything.
Also, I want to point out to anyone who said I was wrong on this, because I wasn't. Like,
Go ahead.
Roald Dahl was English. No, he wasn't. He was born in Wales, but he was raised in a Norwegian household. He spoke Norwegian first, and he recognized the Welsh and the English for the subhuman scum they were.
Ooh.
There you go.
Good. Those Anglos need to be put in their place, along with those filthy
Indeed.
Welsh.
Just to point that out. See, it's fine when we colonize other countries, because we're better than you.
Know your place, trash.
Marcus James says, I find the word bitch to be gender neutral. That's true. I call Kyle a bitch all the time. Wait, that's a bad example, because he's a woman. Damn. Oh, well, try again tomorrow.
You're getting kind of sassy, I think. I think we need to put him in a timeout. Again. No need to be mean. Come on. This is supposed to be a team effort. Throw me out of the bus all the time. Rude.
Anthony Brown says, YouTube will now track how many videos you click to watch and will start charging per click. Ooh, you get X amount of clicks free per month. That'd be fucking great. Andrew Schmidt says, hey Arch, been going back and watching the RLM RP, and I was wondering if you're going to upload the Lucky Hunger RP. Also the one with the sharpest fangs wins. Also, hi kids. It'd be too much bother.
Hello.
Maybe I'll make somebody do it eventually.
Hold on.
Secrets.
I can help you out, chat. And I'm helping you too at the same time. So, you want Arch to relist some of those RPs and stuff. Now, remember, Arch is a mountain monkey. Mountain monkeys are grumpy, angry, and generally kind of retarded. The best way to incentivize Barch, this guy over here, is to just simply start throwing lots of money at him. Basically, what you need to do is start a bidding war, chat. But instead of a bidding war, a fund to restore the playlists. And Arch will be guilted into doing what you want.
He's my editor's job, I think.
He's a bit of a softie. Like, it is one of his weaknesses. I want to point that out. He does get guilty. Just guilt him. Just guilt trip him.
I think that poor person does not know what they've signed up to.
You'd be surprised how good they are at organizing stuff. Jessica, what are they talking about? Poor chat. They'll learn.
Marcus James says we should make oval coin tied to blockchain surveillance. If anything, it will reach the moon, it will be surveillance. Good. We do need oval coins. Also says, YouTube also likes to put woke ads and liberal campaign commercials on channels they demonetize. They do that. The best part is, even if they demonetize your video, they'll still run ads on it. It's just that you don't get any, which is rather brilliant. Glow in the Dog says, "Here, Arch, some money so you can feed your kid." Oh, yuck.
Wow.
And he says, "The boot of the Indian has a little poo-poo on it." That might actually be true.
Rather unfortunate, to be sure.
Like, have you seen fucking India? Have you seen India? Like, my God. I don't know. I don't think they know what cleanliness is, Kyle. I have seen India. I have seen the Ganges River, the sacred river. They go and bathe in that thing, Kyle. It's weird.
Why do they have so much crap thrown into their sacred river? That's what I don't understand.
No.
It's sacred. Like, wouldn't you want to not make it dirty?
Like, I have seen pictures where people wade out into the water and there's just like a foam layer of plastic and shit. It's like, wow.
That is just sad, actually.
It is. Ah, there we go. Right. I introduce to you the sacred river.
That's so
It's
silly.
sacred. There needs to be less Indians. I'm sorry to say it, but there's clearly too many of them. Chat begins rubbing their hands together. Yes, yes. Okay, my cousin went to vacation in India with her family, and the shit they fucking... So they were living at a pretty decent little hotel, right? And it had an overhang. So, you know, it's kind of one of those terraces kind of things where the dining area is. And it had these little, like, open top ceiling thingies with, like, greenery hanging from it. Like, very supposed to be, like, lush and green and rah, rah, rah. Very chic. Problem is, monkeys had fucking taken up residence in this place. And so while people were eating, the monkeys were just there, just looking at them. Occasionally shitting in their food. Occasionally stealing their fucking food. Monkeys. Motherfucking monkeys. Actual monkeys.
Monkeys are funny, though.
They're not very funny when they're taking your food away, Carl.
They're still funny.
No.
They're terrifying up close. Oh my God. I had a friend who walked up close to a monkey and was like trying to touch it. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea. And then the monkey turned, looked at her, and started running. And then all you can see in the footage is her running too. It's like, yeah, don't try to touch the monkey. Monkey's gonna fuck you up. Run. Good thing she could outrun monkey.
Could she outrun monkey?
Well, that's apparent by the fact that monkey didn't catch her. She ran as fast as her little feet could take her.
John McCalla feels a little bit bannable today by saying, she sells, she's... And then I banned him. Yep, banned.
Well, it was nice
She
knowing you.
sells seashells by the seashore. Also, why weird kibs? Shouldn't the superior genetic exemplar be bred to improve the gene pool? And that is why Kib will forever be a virgin woman.
Wow. Rude.
Never pregnant.
I mean,
Except
not
for
rude.
meme potential.
We'll get you pregnant for the meme. Oh, okay. It's a good meme. It's a good...
Noah R donates $99.99. So just to make sure that I have to give editor work.
Good.
You're gonna have to remind me about that in a month's time, otherwise I am gonna fucking forget. Thank you
Don't
very
worry.
much, though, sir.
I will hold that above him. He will not escape.
No, you won't. You're too short.
Shut up, Stubby. I don't want to talk about it. Mr. Literally, he's like, you have to put a pillow under my chair because my little feetsies, they're kicking. It's like, oh my
Not
God.
under the chair, Kyle. That wouldn't fucking help much. On the chair, you tard.
Under the chair isn't under where you sit, whatever.
That's
you
not
fucking...
what you said.
Listen,
Also,
I don't want to hear it.
Before the next topic, I need to give a little bit of a shout out here to
Next one.
a group of 16 very hardworking Japanese men.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, you know what? Fair enough. 16 brave warriors. 16 Ronin warriors.
So, this is just completely unrelated to anything, but I thought this was fucking funny. So apparently, 16 dudes has been running a Peeping Tom ring, photographing women in open air baths and stealing their fucking underwear for 30 years.
38 years?
No, 30 years. 30 years.
That's still a lot of years.
Yes. The dude, the CEO of this noble undertaking, Karin Saito, was 50 years old. He's been doing this for the majority of his life.
It's like, I remember when I first started my first picture 30 years ago. It was a fine lass. I don't know.
It's just, wow. Like, this is something to do. Like, they started doing this and they were like, wow, this is like it's a cottage industry now. Like, they're hiring people.
Originally, it was just for their own personal fat material. Then it became an enterprise.
Yes. And then it grew. And they hired, I shit you not, doctors, local government officials, and senior company executives.
It's like, you want to see some fine wild females? I'm like, oh, we got the wildest females you've ever seen. I caught this one in the wild last week. It's like the safari over there. Oh, hey, we got a pair of females right over there.
Oh, God damn it.
Fucking why?
Where there's a will, there's a way, I guess. But hey, I get it's nice they were caught because they were doing some pretty nasty shit too. They were also drugging people. So
holy shit. Okay.
Yes, these were terrible dudes. I'm not saying otherwise. I just thought it was fucking funny that they were doing this as a job for 30 years.
Now we look at chat, watch them all retract their base, like start message retracted. It's like, not based, cringe.
It was just, goddamn it, 30 years as well. Just,
that's fucked up.
On the right side, here's just a genuinely funny thing where no good person was hurt whatsoever. Saints Row is dead. Dead.
You know, I was definitely suspecting as much after I played that trash game for like a little bit. Saints Row future uncertain as reboot flopped. Hopefully it's over, because honestly, I don't think we need another Saints Row. Not after that debacle. That game was trash.
Yep. The flop of Saints Row was so bad that it has actually completely changed the internal structure of Embracer Group, which is that Sweden investment firm that has bought up a load of games, and have actually made some pretty good ones too, mind you. Mm-hmm. They've completely reworked their greenlighting process now, and basically, because previously, they just gave out the licenses to their game companies and basically said, okay, you make whatever you want to make, and your passion and your love for the art will bring it through. Turns out, no, because sometimes people have really, really bad ideas.
You don't say.
And so now they actually have to, argue the case and demonstrate that there's a market and that there's a reason for this fucking thing to exist. Like, this game was so bad, it literally changed corporate structure, which is...
Yeah. You know what? That's a good thing. That's good news. Maybe they're going to be like, maybe we're not going to make any more woke games. It turns out woke games are not only unprofitable, but just negative PR all around.
Yep. And Saints Row, this Saints Row was just... awful. Like, it missed every single solitary point about a Saints Row game. Like, it was an endeavor in badness. Like, you have to try to ruin something this thoroughly.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, Saints Row, you want to do Saints Row, what you need is an actual reboot. An actual full back to scratch reboot. Forget about Saints Row after the second one, right? Okay, forget about 1, because 1 was basically just kind of Grand Theft Auto. Like that was pretty much all it was, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
Yep.
You know,
It was Saints Row 2. That was the one that was special.
yes. Whereas Saints Row 2 then thought, okay, let's do the whole Grand Theft Auto thing, but let's just go fucking insane with it.
It's
And that's what they
crazy
did.
over the top. Saints Row 2 was
And
awesome.
it was pretty fucking fun because it was still a little bit grounded, you know. It still had a little bit of an existence in the real world, giving you some kind of grounding and position in reality. 3 wasn't awful. It was going a bit too much over the top, but the sweet spot is probably somewhere right in between 2 and 3, I think. Somewhere just in the middle of that. And then 4 was just retarded because it's like, oh, you have superpowers now, which sounds cool until you realize it basically invalidates 98% of the game. Like, what the fuck is the point of driving a car when you can fly?
Oh yeah, I remember they even like the guy that worked on the car mechanic. Like there was even more car customizations in the new Saints Row, but you had superpowers, so like what was the purpose of using a car when you could just sort of fly everywhere? And because you could fly everywhere, it sort of changes the game. One of the biggest problem with like any sort of flying or superpowers is all of a sudden it makes map traversal so simple and mundane that it's no longer the same. Exploration changes. Exploring is
This
different.
is why fast travel needs to be banned in all fucking Bethesda titles.
You will regret that. You will just wait and see until that space game comes out, I bet.
No, fast travel, banned. Fast travel points, a la the Silk Striders in Morrowind, fine and dandy. But no fast travel, no clicking map going to location, because there are so many cool things out there that you should explore, and that you will feel better for having explored. Anyways, Saints Row 5 was just... It was a disaster. In every way, shape, and form, and it deserved to be a disaster. And hopefully, God willing, this will wring the neck of Volition, that disgusting shadow of itself. I fucking hate what they've done to my beautiful little boy. Volition used to make such good games, like Red Faction, Summoner, fucking Summoner was great. And Free Space. I love Free Space. Fucking Free Space is so good. So fucking good. And now they made Saints Row 5. They made Saints Row 5, Kyle. They need to be ashamed of themselves.
You know what they did with this one? It's worse than that, Arch. You're giving them too much credit. They tried to reboot the franchise with this. This is the modern generation's, the current generation's Saints Row. This is their Saints Row, by the way.
Good. They deserve it. They're bad people.
Well, they're literally children right now. They don't really control the world or do anything yet. This is what we made for them.
What Volition needs to do is fucking just fire everyone. That might be that's all I can say on YouTube. There might be more fitting fates, including rats and champagne buttons. And
Volition just needs to shutter its doors because anybody that was there who had talent is gone.
Yeah, but I like the little logo, Kyle.
Yes, but the studio has changed. Remember, the studio is made up by people.
We'll take Kyle's advice.
No mercy.
We'll shutter the doors with everyone inside, and then we'll light the fires.
I'm glad you've come around to my way of thinking. It's good when we can
as you
find
stand out there, gasoline can in hand, and you hear the first noises, the first entrance of what's that smell, and then the hammering against the door. Then you can shout out, "Bet you wish you made Far Space 3 now, or Free Space."
Yeah, Far Space. Nope, too late.
Free Space 3 now.
Wow, check out Arch's new video game. It's like, I'm gonna make a better Free Space. It's gonna be called Far Space. It's like, what's gonna be far?
To be fair, you might have to. God, fucking Free Space was so good.
It was. Free Space 2 was awesome. The mods, I remember being a little kid and watching a YouTube video. I was like, wow, somebody modded with Star Wars. And then I finally got it to work and I was like, holy shit. Like, you can mod that shit to do all sorts of crazy, cool, epic space battles. Free Space was awesome. Sadness. It's old and barely works now.
Yep. Volition just needs to die.
Yep, shutter their stores. They made Red Faction, too.
Yep, they did.
Red Faction was so much fun. Ignoring the last third of that game. I forgot how cheesy and bullshitty it was with their see-through fucking railguns. Go straight to hell. Lazy level design at the end, but it was so good. Everything else except that part.
And a final good topic. Okay, so this right here. This is how the culture war begins to slide backwards. How it begins to collapse in upon itself like a fucking singularity. we have returned to cultural appropriation. We are back in 2016, lads. We've come home.
Wow, we're walking back the clock. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
This has been making the rounds now for good reasons. The Sami People's Council have decided that Square Enix must remove an outfit in their video game called Far Northern Attire because the Sami, quote, own their style. They own their own cultural legacy, you see, and nobody else can use it. That's how that works.
How about they go pound sand and fuck off?
How about that's mighty rich coming from a bunch of fuckers living in my land?
He's like,
the Sami triggers me greatly.
Actually, what's funny, Chad, is it's spelled S-A-P-M-I. I know, it's really stupid. They misspelled their own name. They misspelled their... Sapmi.
Kyle, are you a retard?
Isn't it S-A-P-M-I?
Are you?
No, you're retarded.
Fool?
Kibbs is smart. Everyone else is stupid. This is the world I live in. This is the world I make.
No, it's Sama.
Oh, don't at me, you little Norwegian.
Sama.
Stop diverting back to your fucking savage ways. Become normal again. It is
but
me,
we call them
Archer.
Sami because it's the anglification of their retarded little name. So, for those of you who aren't aware, and I would hardly blame you if you were, the Sami are fucking Mongolians. Okay? They come from Asia, from Central Asia, from fucking Russia. Okay? They come from way the fuck off. All right? And then they moved here to Finland, Sweden, and Norway. And then they settled about 2,000 years after everybody else did.
Yep.
And now they're looking at us and going like, we're the indigenous people.
It's like, yeah, no, they're not. They came from the Great Migration of Mongolians that moved over.
Like literally, the first signs of settlement in Norway is like 3,000 BC. These fuckers arrived somewhere around 1,000 odd BC, right? We'd already been living here for a couple of millennia by the time the fuckers arrived. And the Sami trigger me greatly.
Like, this is our home now. It's like, I don't think that's how that works.
I love their little... Okay, this is a picture from their little Wikipedia page, okay? This is the Sami homeland, according to the Sami. It's like, this is ours now. Like a little bit of Russia, a little bit of Finland. So
a little bit of everybody.
And the worst part is, they are also given a lot of special privileges. They are allowed to carry out rain ownership, for example. Like they own the reindeer things. And they are allowed to use national parks to do their nonsense trading. Nobody else is allowed to do this. And they're allowed to do this because it's a part of their heritage, to keep the little reindeers. They are given their own parliament. They are given their own news broadcast. They are given their own school. They are allowed to teach their own language. They are given every right and privilege you could possibly imagine. And all they do is whine. Bitch. This is a topic that triggers Arch. Ferociously so.
Get into the part where you built a nice bar for them.
There's a lot of movies about the Sami.
There's
which we are all going to watch. And the central theme of every last one of them is that the Sami are being oppressed.
Even if they committed the atrocities.
Yes, so there was one movie called the Kautokeino Rebellion, where the Sami were like, "Oh, the Sami are gonna rebel. The Sami are gonna kick out the Norwegians." And the rebellion was about like 15 dudes with sticks that attacked, ransacked, and killed a bar owner and his establishment because he was selling them firewater, and they were incapable of not drinking the firewater. Then the Norwegian constabulary, not an army or anything, moved in and went, "Stop." So then they threw down their sticks, and then we hung about a bunch of them, and they have continued to whine about this for so many years. This is their ethnic genocide. I think 3 dudes got hung. Like, genocide.
For committing murder, yeah.
We made a mistake that day.
That was the day you should have taken care of the Sami.
There was an opportunity there.
It's like an opportunity for what, Arch? Come on, wait. Sure, Susan's waiting to hear on her way out.
You know what the best part is too?
What?
You know what the argument is for why this was a nice thing for them to do? Why they needed to destroy this place, right?
Yeah.
Oh, only 2 people were actually hung. So there you go.
Well,
The rationale is that the Sami people were especially vulnerable to alcoholism.
just don't drink alcohol then.
No, Kyle, they couldn't not drink alcohol. They were very vulnerable to alcohol, you see. Widespread alcohol was widespread. Alcoholism was widespread in the Sami community.
You know, you can before you take up a bottle of booze or something, you have the choice to drink it or not drink it.
Not the Sami, no. If they see a bottle of booze, they are genetically inclined to do so, apparently.
Like, we are incapable. White man magic juice too strong. It beckons thee and beckons.
Yes.
Retarded.
Yes.
But unfortunate.
Yes, very retarded. But yeah, that's why the Sami are doing this. It's because they are... Is it too late? Could we go back to the 1850s and do it right this time?
Could we change history and undo our mistakes? Arch, what are you talking about?
They complain about everything. It is literally what they do. I didn't think they'd be complaining about a Square Enix video game, but here you go.
Like, Squeenix, we know you're kind of a mid company, but could you just give us our stuff, our DLC cut our deal? It's like, oh my god. Half tempted to make a video game about Sami and just be like, oh, just to see get them mad.
And the thing is, individual Sami, I actually think are pretty cool because they're ethno-nationalists to the extreme.
I mean, considering this is what they claim as their land, yeah.
Literally, their entire thing is they want to keep their culture, they want to keep their tradition, they want to keep their language. Fantastic. Great. Do it on your own time, mind you, but great. But it's just that they keep fucking complaining about it. Oh.
It won't stop. Can't stop.
Maybe they're vulnerable to complainism in the same way they're vulnerable to alcoholism.
So I'm curious, the Sami population in terms of numbers, right? They're a minority for sure.
Not as much as they could have been.
Oh my god, Arch. So this land that they claim to want as their, rightful clay, as so to speak, could they even realistically populate a country of that size?
Kyle, look at that map.
I'm thinking probably not, is what I'm thinking.
The entire Sami population is like 40,000-50,000 people.
They don't need that much land to begin with. Like, give them Murmansk, that little Russia bit. Nobody likes that, anyways. Nobody likes
True.
that.
We could give them the piece of Russia.
The Russians might be upset, but you know what? That's their problem.
I don't care about the Russians. They can listen to them complain for a bit.
It can be the Russians' problem. It's only fair.
It can be the Russians'
The
problem.
Russians have the most clay to give up, so it's only fair that they give some of their clay instead.
Sami.
And this is how Barge breaks on stream.
I know there are ways to solve this peacefully.
Of course.
But of course, if they resist,
We'll find aggressive, peaceful solutions. YouTube, Arch, YouTube. Aggressive, peaceful options.
Good God. Well, I hope Squeenix doesn't bend. I know Squeenix will, because they're Squeenix, and it'll be funny when they do. In fact, I kind of hope they do. Because if they do bend, then they normalize capitulating to even the tiniest of ridiculous fucking narratives, and hopefully Square Enix will collapse into a big, dark sinkhole.
If only, but I doubt it.
This is what I hope, this is what I pray. Globe the Dog says, hey, Arch, have some money so you can feed your kib. I decided to read that twice, because feeding kibs is priority.
So you know what I've decided on my channel what you should do for yours. So because you read it twice, yeah, it was an accident, but now you have to charge them. So like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to charge you to give me more money.
This is rented.
Yep, you got a double reading.
Fleming TP says the Queen is dead. Long live the worst king, Neil Mohan. I wonder if it's pronounced Mohan or if there's some kind of retarded Indian pronunciation.
Probably.
Because I like Mohan. Mohan wrote a pretty cool book about naval strategy, which basically boiled down to find the enemy, kill them.
I mean, that is a strategy. I mean,
yes,
of sorts.
It was widely embraced for hundreds of years.
So I don't know where they are, but if we find them, we'll kill them.
Look, Spartan says, if you lads wanted base VTubers, you should try getting Pippin Pipka on the cast. She's remarkably based. V probably knows Bunny, but that might be a little bit too spicy. I do not have the protection of being a VTuber.
That, and we'd have to talk to the handlers.
Yeah, that's true. Handlers.
It's a corporation.
Handlers.
Corpos. Ugh.
You don't like those. Nolly says, that's interesting. Arch didn't know she was woke. All I've ever seen was her being a nice person. But in my defense, I'm not tracking their every move. You see, I am not a wokist. Have a life, you see. And that is the best way to go about it. If you have no idea whether or not your favorite little VTuber personality is woke or not, then you're doing everything right. Because frankly, they're usually only this on Twitter. So it is eminently ignorable. There was a day when nobody was woke. Those were the days. There was a day when Jim Sterling made rape jokes on his little podcast thing. And now he's Stephanie.
How the tables have turned. Literally.
Indeed. Inverted even. Oh, God. I need to find that. Kyle, you haven't changed the picture back to the Square Enix article.
Oh, well, hold on a second.
No. Now I'm going to have to go find that picture of Jim Sterling in a fucking skin-tight suit again to punish you.
Well, go get it. By punishing me, you'll be punishing chat. So you know what? It's only fair that they get what they had coming to them.
I do find that picture quite amusing. We shall spare them for today. Just show them the article because it's more thematical. And just showing them the Sámi like, this is what we like. Bad kid.
This is what they were. I was posting images, based on interest, and that one was like their borders, and I thought that was kind of cute. It looked ugly, and that'd be a really ugly country to look at on the map.
Glowing the Dog says, Governor of Ohio dressed up as Zelensky in hope of aid from the U.S. federal government. Unfortunately, Biden sniffed him out. He identifies people by smell. Hazmat suits in Palestine will be needed. Ah, yes. All right, let me see if I can Actually find that, because that was mildly funny. Because, of course, that was not a disaster. The enormous chemical spill was not ranked as a disaster by the Biden administration. They figured it was kind of just funny, honestly. Like, wow, maybe their children will be born with all kinds of interesting diseases. That would be mildly funny.
But only mild.
Imagine Kib, but with 3 legs.
Unfortunate, but at least I have a spare.
Or 2 heads.
And again, a spare.
Character Holding says, I love and hate Planetfall. Can't find a good team. Well, try the new one. Try the Planetfall one, the Age of Wonders Planetfall. It's pretty cool. Try harder. Try all of them. And eventually, burp, you will find a solution to your problem. Maybe? No? Possibly.
Well, we could try.
Go the Doc says, kind of unexpected that Ohio East Palestine would be gas before Palestine in the Middle East. Or did Mossad mix up the address? It's possible. It was also that God was like, fuck this place in particular, and decided to trap all of the toxic gases right on top of the city. See, this is something that God does occasionally. He's just like, this community is going to be my biolab. And then he does something like this. And in a few years, you'll have all kinds of interesting deformities pop up.
Like, wow, I've never seen green humans before.
Yep. But then the Muslims keep bugging him with prayers like, Allah, 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 and he's just, shut up! And then you get the earthquake in Turkey.
Shut up. That'll teach him.
I will teach him.
Pipe down over there.
There, quiet.
Damn, it's because they're
God
dead.
can be a bit of a douchebag on occasion.
According to the Bible, yeah, he's a bit mean.
Mark James says, YouTube hates you. Kib needs to merch that. I think it has already been merchandised, to be fair.
I think every YouTuber and their grandmas merchandise that.
Glow in the Dark says, Oompa Loompas, the original Minions. Oompa Loompa, doopity doo. Don't know how the song goes, but I'm pretty sure there was more Oompa
another
Loompas.
question for you. And then it's like, what do you... And, you know, and then they go into the thing that they're talking about the child who's fucking turned into a grape and is going to explode.
That's right, they killed multiple children in that book.
Oh, don't worry.
They all ended up fine in the end, though.
She's going to a drainer. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are they going to do? Like, squeeze it out.
Squeeze her like a grape, yes.
Yeah. Juice him.
The whole thing says, did you see that Rikita managed to get Goatse admitted as part of official court documentation in his current lawsuit? No, I did not. At least Rikita is having fun.
It's good.
Glow in the Dark says, some institutions in America are slowly phasing out female as a word because it would mean sex is a biological and not a self-identification. I think it was Yale. Well, good. So long as it's happening in America. And not here. I hope it happens in Minnesota more often.
Not much happens around here anyways.
Except for riots.
That's only in the one city we have, which is basically a million miles away.
Mocked Ashamed says, and then YouTube scrolls, to the Grumpy Mountain Monkey. Thank you very much. Now you're banned.
Now you're banned. Dang.
It's a racial slur invented by the Danes to put us down.
We're not mountain monkeys. We have rights. Okay, fjord monkey. He's like,
The Riddle says, Arch, is there any way to get episode 35 of the saga on D&D? It was titled Death is a Solution. It was hosted on your channel. Please? No.
well, at least you asked.
It's probably gone. It's probably dead. The great hack. Many things were yeeted. Many things that didn't deserve to be alive, though, also went, to be fair. Glow in the Dark says India sees a river as sacred and that it can cleanse anything. So they dump everything in the river, even toxic industrial waste. Okay, you know what? That's actually a very good explanation. They think the river is magic and can clean anything, and therefore it doesn't matter what you dump in it. That makes sense.
Oh my god, I feel like that was somebody at some point in India's history was telling that to people, like his kids, as he was like throwing their garbage in the river. His Daddy, why are you throwing garbage in the sacred river? It's like, well, because son, the river's holy and divine and stuff, so that means that it's cleansed, so it's fine. And then it slowly spread generationally.
Well, that's true though. If the river is holy, then it would cleanse stuff. So there is no problem with pooping in the river because now your poop is clean.
It's holy now.
It is holy.
It's a holy poo.
It is. It shines in the dark and glitters upon closer inspection.
As it slowly floats towards the ocean.
Not all poop floats, Kyle.
Oh no.
In fact, if you're doing it right, it shouldn't float. If your poop floats, Kyle, go see a doctor.
Listen, they're Indians. You know their diet. Probably does.
Welcome our Spartan says, Kibo Empreg when?
Never.
Probably this year. He did say that this was going to be a big year for him, and I took that to mean physically.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. It's a fair way of interpreting that, I suppose.
Dryfix says, please annunciate, not enunciate, annunciate. Give Papa a cup of proper... I can't do the F's today. Give Papa a cup of proper coffee in a copper coffee cup. I think it's different if you do it properly. What was it? I would like a proper cup of coffee served in a proper copper pot. Or something like that. Cup of coffee. I know that one. God damn it.
He's doing the big thinkies, guys. But it's not working. The dinkies aren't big enough.
I can't find it now. Hold on.
You failed us, Arch. You failed us all.
So John says, why can't a leopard hide? Because he's always spotted.
Ban him. Ban him now.
What dog keeps the best time? A watchdog.
Next
How
ban.
do you make a lemon drop? Just let it fall.
There's a lot less people in chat all of a sudden. There's a lot.
Report. Child abuse.
I mean, that's fair.
It is. At least one child read that and was abused. So John says, Rohypnol is a barbiturate, pronounced barbiturati. No. The drug you want to give that plant professor. Garlic. Professor Garlic. I heard Professor Garlic already has hentai.
Yeah, there's a fully 3D model. Nude. There's also nude mods already. There's some pretty based mods for Hogwarts Legacy that are funny. There's Ricardo dancing on the walls and it's playing music. It's pretty funny.
Yep, the AI has at least created a few pieces of garlic hentai. Good. Wojcicki says, yes, Kibbs, don't worry, it's just a meme. We are just putting this fetus in your liver for the meme. In the liver? Can it even survive in there?
Doubtful.
Well, we won't know unless we try, I guess.
Sometimes life is filled with mysteries.
And sometimes the solution is to put a fetus inside of Kib.
Well.
Scarfy the Strange says, Arch, are you going to play Children of a Dead Earth? I think it is up your alley. Children of a Dead Earth.
Sounds cool.
Was that the... No, this is something else.
What is it? Is it a city builder?
The most scientifically accurate video game ever made. Ooh.
A bold claim, to be certain.
It looks rather homosexual in his own way.
Uh-oh. Barch is turning sour. Look at him. Like a Sour Patch Kid.
It's like Kerbal Space Program, but colony survival in space thing, I guess. God, it is very ugly. Remarkably ugly. Well, I'll have Kerbal Space Program 2 to keep me company for a little while. If I'm still interested after that, then I'll consider it. Now with Steam Workshop. Oh. Oh.
Ooh, Workshop. Tasty.
Mark James says, the definition of racism has changed to only be from white to black or lighter to darker. Therefore, anti-racism has to be from black to white or darker to lighter. Alternatively, you could just attack the Sami for no particular reason. I encourage the solution, by the way, to the racism problem. Dryfeed says, Genghis Khan appropriating culture so aggressively. We all have a little bit of him inside all of us. That's true. There's a little bit of Genghis Khan inside of Kyle's Irish genes.
Not even Irish.
He lies, chat. There's Irish in there.
You're desperately coping and seething. Because you
Marcus
yourself
James
are
says,
Irish.
Art has to leave Samistan. Samistan would not survive for long. He would collapse pretty quickly.
Samistan. 50,000 people? Yeah, it's not going to be the most developed of countries. Maybe a size of Andorra might work. You know, a little speck on the map.
NFT Shill says, don't judge NFTs by one use case. Attach every game in your Steam library to an NFT instead of a key code, and you've just re-established the used market for video games. Just because crowbars are used to break windows, that doesn't make them bad tools. That is a good point. I would actually quite like it if I had the ability to actually own my video games. Now, theoretically, you already do, because what Steam claims to have the right to do, in other words, that you lease the games, is bullshit. But it would be nice to actually have like a physical proof of ownership, sorta, like a thing that means you absolutely own that thing. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be a good thing. Maybe NFTs are good after all. Well, the thing is, the technology can undoubtedly be used for good. The question is just, will it? Probably not.
Humans using things? Let's see how that goes out.
To be used by a human. Marcus James says, Arch has to leave Samistan. I read that. Kyle, this is your fault. I don't understand why you did this to me, but I will hold it against you forever.
Wow.
King Yadu says, I actually play Final Fantasy Roman numerals. Stealing culture is based. We have the steppe Mongolian dragon people, Amazon misandrists, bunny girls, Romans, steampunk Nazis, and Australians who are just scaly barbaric centaurs.
Is it the
Good.
Final Fantasy 14, the MMO one or whatever?
Roman numerals. It's Roman numerals.
Was there an X in there? I was like, no, I'm not telling you.
Kyle. Shame on you.
It's not my fault you can't read Roman numerals. It's XVI, then it's 14. Which is the MMO, if I remember right. Chat just says yes, the MMO. Well, thank you, chat. At least you're useful, you little silly cat.
Didn't you promise to play that one?
I never promised to. I said I maybe would, but then I didn't really want to because I looked at it and was like, I don't know if it's for me. Doesn't look like a bad game, just might not be my kind of game.
I don't know about that.
What are you doing, procrastinator? Like, I'm literally walking around now trying to figure out where I put my drink. Oh, there it is.
Lord of the Possums donates 1 membership Thank you very much, Lord of the Possums. He has given somebody the ability to be alive after the apocalypse. Contrary to not alive. Because that does happen.
That's also true. Except it isn't.
Mark James says, Kibbs, aren't you in Ohio? Are you growing a second phallus now? Kyle refuses to answer.
What?
He doesn't want to live in Ohio anymore.
Ohio? I don't live in Ohio.
Doesn't want to be there anymore. Because he knows that if he's there, he'll be hurt. Which might be true. It's Ohio. Ohio might be a very good place. Were it not for all the Ohioans.
Wow. He doesn't like Ohio people. Can you believe that, chat? This is Ohio racism. Oxford, Ohio is very pretty. I've been there. It's a pretty state.
I don't know what Ohio is.
But I don't think it will be around for long.
Is it real?
Ohio? Yeah. Ohio's actually quite nice.
Is it?
Ohio's next to Minnesota, right? Oh my god. Come here, Stone Age. She's like, start beating him.
Kyle doesn't even know. He's not even aware where Ohio is.
Oh my god. Come here. You come here too. Next to Stone Age.
Mike Wild 11 says, give us Stephanie, the most abhorrent one. Also, do YouTube CEO will be even worse. Prepare for exit to Rumble now. But Rumble has a really bad back end. Really bad back end.
I heard from somebody that apparently Rumble has improved slightly. Interface wise.
Again, that'll be somebody else's job.
Typical Barch. Typical. It's like, yeah, basically.
And a marksman of 117B says, Ohio was a Kibbs batter?
Baby batter. Baby batter.
Baby batter spill? That's
baby
weird.
Batter is another word.
Why would you do that?
That's quite gross. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know what baby batter is?
I have learned many things about Kyle today. Most of them related to Ohio, I guess.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't know if I wanted to know all of these things, though. All right. That was the last one, and that means we can wrap things up. Yes. This was a week.
It was another week. One of many to come, I hope.
I don't know about that.
But
it was a week in which Susan decided to go away.
Thank
and
goodness.
very, very, very soon, we will know whether or not to scream or to be thankful. I'm leaning towards scream at the moment, but we shall have to wait and see.
Patience is a virtue. One Arch doesn't have. No.
Thank you all very much for watching today, though, and for your super generous donations, and for screaming with me.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's good. It's nice to have somebody to scream along with, you know?
You know, a choir of screaming. Like, it's very nice.
Yes.
It's collectively vibrating in the world.
Yes.
A chorus of screams.
It is good. It is good to have somebody to scream alongside.
Better than nobody.
I'll put up Kyle's upcoming stream after this one, because I redirected to Dev last time, and then he was like, I'm not actually streaming.
Wait, what? Oh, Dev was like wrapping up his stream right as you did that?
No, he was starting, but he does that thing where there's like a 30-minute countdown timer when he's streaming.
Oh my god, he like starts the stream and then there's a counter?
Yes, and then there's a countdown timer that slowly goes for like 30 minutes before the stream actually starts.
Dev is a smart guy. I'm sure there's a reason why he's doing it. That's just weird to me.
I don't know if Dev's a smart guy. I think he might be evil.
You know, Dev may be a communist, but sometimes he's right about some things. Very, very rarely, of course.
Exceedingly so.
Yes.
I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's Dev being cruel. So Dev has lost his redirect privileges for the immediate time being.
It's okay, Dev. If you stream after me, I'll redirect to you, buddy. He's like, okay.
Yes, if you stream at like 11 Canada time morning, then you can do it.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing Anno, so it's gonna be a long night today.
Oh, I almost started reading Dev's Superchats. I was wondering. Because he's actually streaming now. So there you go. You have options, I suppose.
Oh, you have another super.
Comes in at the end saying, Count Dankula covered an article that is about using people that will never wake up for gestating babies for those that can't. The article mentions using men's liver as an option. Well, there you go. Yeah, we were talking about that briefly last month. Using women as vegetables to raise babies.
That's weird. But I get
I think
why.
it's very progressive, and I see why we should do it.
They're vegetables anyways.
Until next time, I've been Arch.
I've been
And this is
No, I can do it
Kim.
myself. I don't trust you. You say like pet or something. I'll take care of this.
he
Hold
claims
on,
to be a
another
pet.
super.
He's self-informant pet. Glow in the Dark says, we are doing dad jokes and tongue twisters now. Singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth. Then it's just soap opera. Kill yourself.
Terrible. Yeah, do that.
True. And you can go watch some Anno a little bit. Or you can go watch Dev play a game of golf, I guess. He's weird.
I mean, somebody's got to play golf, okay?
Somebody must have to do it. Good night.
Bye.